To cut fresh herbs, there are several ways to make it easy. I like to actually just use a glass, and you can just tear off the herbs, put them down into the little glass, and then use some kitchen scissors and just cut the herbs inside of the glass. Super easy way to cut herbs. Sometimes when you have big leaves, as in a basil plant, you can just take those leaves off and then stack them one on top of each other and make a little roll. So you can just roll those up and then use your knife. I like to do one long cut and then just use your knife to cut it into small pieces. Today in lab, you're also using a steamer. This is a vegetable steamer. In the big kitchen, you guys have a big vegetable steamer. The trick is to make sure that you have water in the bottom of it at all times. So you're going to make sure there's plenty of water. You can bring it to boiling on high, but then don't leave it boiling on high, because all that does is create a lot of evaporation, and then we end up with the sauna in here. So make sure that you turn it back down to a simmer. You'll put the vegetables in there, follow your instructions for timing, put the lid on, and just allow that to steam. Now in the small kitchen, we don't have a big steamer like this, but we have an insert, and this works really well in any pan. You just need to make sure that it sits up above the water level. Water boils at 212 degrees. If you have it boiling hard and fast, it won't get any hotter and it won't cook any faster. So once it's at 212, you can go ahead and turn it down to simmer, and as long as you have the steaming for your steamer, it will work to cook your vegetables. Another piece of equipment that you're going to be using today is your food processor. Make sure that you have it set up with the disc attachment. This is very sharp. Line it up inside your food processor, and today you're doing carrots. Then we go ahead and put the top on, make sure that everything is lined up. Today I'm just going to show you how to put these carrots through fast and easy. Now remember that we have a lot of pieces of equipment today that need to be cleaned, so if you'll clean them very quickly as soon as you use them, you'll save a lot of time in the long run. Basically, the only thing that this has touched is carrots. So just go to your sink, rinse it off, put a little soap on it, rinse it again, put it in your strainer to dry. Same thing with the top, same thing with the canister. The knives that you're using, make sure that you immediately wash them, and then you won't have a big stack of dishes at the end. In lab today, timing is crucial. You need to make sure that everything comes out, hot food's hot, cold food's cold, so the garlic bread should be served hot. The chicken cordon bleu should be served hot. The vegetables should come right out of the steamer onto the plate. They should be served hot as well. The smoothie should be cold. BlendTech blenders work by having a super powerful fast motor. The blades down inside of a BlendTech blender are not sharp at all. They're dull, but they move really fast to pulverize the food. Today you're going to use the blender to make crepes, and we have the crepe batter in here. Basically all you're going to do is blend that together. And then we're going to pour it through a sieve onto either a dinner plate or into the dipping pan that came with the crepe maker. We're going to go ahead and pour the crepe batter through the sieve, and that's just to make sure that if there's any lumps in it, we don't put those onto the plate. I'm going to put a little bit in this container and a little bit in this container. When you guys do this in your kitchens, some of the kitchens will be making crepe batter, some will be making the crepe filling, and some will be making the topping. It's important to let this sit long enough so that the bubbles don't remain, and then we need to keep the crepe making station nice and clean. The crepe making station is where we have the batter and the filling and the topping, and each kitchen will take their assignment up to the crepe making station, and then the whole class will be able to assemble their crepes at the crepe making station. When the crepe batter is in the pans and you've made sure that there aren't as many bubbles, you can begin dipping the crepes. An easy way to clean the blenders is to just put a little bit of water in the blender, put a couple drops of dish soap, and then put the lid on and push blend, and that will clean the blender for you. If it's got a lot of stuck on stuff, you can add a little bit of ice, turn it on, and that agitation will cause it to clean the blender. Then all you need to do is rinse and dry it. To make the crepes, I like to have a paper towel to put the crepes on when they're cooked. And basically, you're just going to take the crepe maker and you're going to put it into the batter. What I like to do is roll the crepe for about 3 seconds, make sure that all of the edges are covered, and then lift it out, and you've got a crepe. Go ahead and let it cook until the light indicates that it's done, and then you'll take it off and fill the crepes at the crepe making station and put the topping on at the crepe making station. Here's our filling. Here's our topping. Sometimes it's nice to turn it over and get a little browning on the other side, but that's not 100% necessary. And we're just going to line them up on the paper towel, add the filling down the middle, and you're going to roll them. You will put some topping on the top, just drizzle that on the top, and there's enough crepe batter for everybody to make 2 crepes per person. When you get them filled, you can go ahead and put them on a serving plate and drizzle a little bit of the topping on the top. Sprinkle them with powdered sugar if you would like, and they're ready to eat. These do not need to be served hot or cold. They can be served at room temperature or just warm. At the crepe making station, you need to make sure that your kitchen comes up and cleans up your part of the assignment. The people that did the batter will need to come and get the dipping plates and trays. You'll need to unplug the crepe makers, wipe the crepe makers off with a wet cloth and then dry it, and make sure you wipe off the cord and get all of the pieces of batter off that. The people that did the filling need to make sure and come up and get their filling dish and wash dry and put that away. The same with the people that have the topping. You need to come and get your dish and clean and put it away. And then the whole crepe making station will be wiped down by the group that's in charge of the demo cart. When you broil the garlic bread, you need to first set up the oven so that the rack in the oven is in the correct position. Then make sure that you set the oven to broil and make sure it's working before you put the garlic bread into the oven. Using the equipment that is in your kitchen, you'll use the broiling rack and the tray. The cleaning is minimal. All you need to do when you're done is wipe off the crumbs and then rinse it and dry it, and it should be ready to put away. There's just one tip for making the garlic bread, and that is don't burn up the garlic bread. Thank you. When you use a meat mallet, we're going to use the meat mallet to thin the chicken, and the chicken, it will be in a Ziploc bag. You'll use the meat mallet, you'll use the smooth side of the meat mallet. That's used for making the meat thinner. The side of the meat mallet with the projections is used to tenderize meat, and we'll just be using the flat side. So make sure that you put the meat in the Ziploc bag, and the reason we do it is so that the meat is uniform thickness for cooking. When working with meat, remember that you're using the sanitizing solution on any surface that comes in contact with the meat. The instant read thermometer is only as accurate as you calibrate it to be. So the first thing that you're going to do is put your instant read thermometer in ice water, and it should read 32 degrees. If it does not read 32 degrees, you can take the cover, and on this cover, there's a little part on the cover that you can use to adjust the dial so that it reads 32 degrees. If you don't have a cover that can adjust the dial, then you can use a pair of needle nose pliers to adjust this so that it reads 32 degrees. You're going to insert the instant read thermometer in the thickest part of the meat. When you're using the microwave in class, microwaves have a lot of different features that many consumers and cooks don't use. Oftentimes people will buy their microwave and then throw away the manual. Keep your manual and refer to the manual often so that you can use all of the features of the microwave. Our manuals are kept in a binder that is above your microwave, so if you ever have any questions about the microwave and how to use it or how to set it, just pull this out and you can refer to the manual.